Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Hanukkah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech Avotenu bayamim Baruch atah Adonai melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyanu v'higiyanu lazman ha.
All right.
Hanukkah, everyone. We're going to be looking at a few different spaces here tonight. Adults, whatever you consider yourself an adult or not, are in there. Families, family program is there, and Tot Shabbat is there. And anyone who wants to build the biggest Lego menorah in the world, you can do that also. Shabbat Shalom, Hanukkah.
It does. It's coming from the...
We were using it out in the lobby.
There you go. Out there. I was out there. He was singing a cappella. It's smart.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're going to get started in just a few moments here. An exciting Shabbat here. Feel free to grab a prayer book from under the seats in front of you, or you can look up at the screens. We'll begin in just a few moments.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Happy Hanukkah, everyone. I know it's a little early, but we love Hanukkah around here. So since next weekend is a vacation week for most of our friends, we'll be celebrating Hanukkah all night tonight, getting you in the spirit of the holiday, anticipating the excitement of Sunday night. So to open our service this evening, we're going to turn you towards the words behind me, or you can also find them in your prayer book. There's a whole Hanukkah section of the Siddur, can you believe it? On page 365. I know you know it. Please sing with me. Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Sit vivon to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago.
And in the preparing for Hanukkah, we have our final bar bat mitzvah of the calendar year. It's always a very special one, and you can tell who it is because her smile is maybe even brighter than that menorah. So we want to invite up Isla's parents, Chrissy and Evan Schwartz, to join us at the pulpit to kindle the Shabbat candles.
As we light these Shabbat candles, we link ourselves with the generations of our people who have kindled those holy flames. Time passes quickly, and we take this moment to pause and express our gratitude. We stand here as a family with humility and with love for this occasion, for one another, and for being part of this sacred community. As we participate in this age-old ritual, we embrace this moment as we move forward in the cycle of our lives. Yesterday, we held our daughter in our arms, and tomorrow she will be called to the Torah as bat mitzvah. These Shabbat candles remind us not only of the joy of this occasion, but they help us to see the light within one another and the strengths that each of us possesses. Grateful for all the precious gifts in our lives, we kindle the Sabbath lights.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kichanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadliknat sher Shabbat. Ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Hanukkah is one of those holidays where even if you say to me, I'll have people in my office, I'm not really very observant, I don't really celebrate many of the holidays. Most folks do come around to Hanukkah. It's this sort of holiday that brings us all together. I'm not sure if it's the fact that it celebrates light, perhaps that we exchange gifts, that it happens around a time when we're often, getting ready to wind down from school and work and take some vacation and spend time with family. Whatever it is, there's something about Hanukkah that really fosters a holiday spirit and a communal spirit. And it's also a holiday that no matter where you are in the world, you're going to see Jews celebrating it in this universal way. We have our menorahs, our Chanukiot that we place in the windows of our homes. One of my favorite images when I walk through the streets of Jerusalem, the one time that I had the privilege of being in Jerusalem during Hanukkah, was seeing all of the menorahs all over the place, just lighting up the streets. You almost didn't need street lights, because the menorah in the window of every single window that you looked at would light the streets. And so I thought this evening, as we lead into Kabbalat Shabbat and celebrate being together as a community as we honor the Hanukkah holiday, that we would get a little taste of Hanukkah songs, of Hanukkah joy, of Hanukkah spirit in 3 different languages, because Jews are a people that wander around the globe. We speak a lot of different languages and a lot of different dialects, and every single one of them has a way to celebrate our holidays and our culture. So we just sang it just a moment ago, but we're going to sing it now in Yiddish. So give it a shot. The words are on page 366 and also behind me. I'm probably going to make a mistake in the Yiddish, so I need your help. Here we go. Chanukah, Chanukah, a Yontef, a Shene, a lustiger, a freilicher, nicht donach, a Zäune, alle Nacht mit Drehlich, spiel in mir, frische Hazelnuts, Essen ohne Schier, geschwinde, sind Kinder, die Chanukah lichterlich auf. Zot al Hanissim, Leut Gott, vor den Nissim, und lo wir all tanzen auf. One more time. Zot al Hanissim, Gott, vor den Nissim, und lo wir all tanzen auf. And now, taking another flight, just, perhaps from Europe to Israel. Sevivon, sov, sov, sov. We spin the dreidel and hope for Gimel right there. Please sing with us. Sevivon, sov, sov, sov. Chanukah hu chag tov. Chanukah hu chag tov. Sevivon, sov, sov, sov. Chag simcha hu la'am. Nes gadol haya sham. Nes gadol haya sham. Chag simcha hu la'am. Sevivon, sov, sov, sov. Chanukah hu chag tov. Chanukah hu chag tov. Sevivon, sov, sov, sov. Chag simcha hu la'am. Nes gadol haya sham. Nes gadol haya sham. Chag simcha hu la'am. Now, if you're familiar with a little language called Ladino, Yiddish was not the only dialect that the Jews established for themselves in the Shtetlim in Europe. There were also Spanish-speaking Jews who created a language that allowed them to communicate during times when perhaps it was not easy to be a Jew out loud. And so on this holiday where we put our menorah in the window so that we can celebrate the light and proudly celebrate who we are as Jews, we celebrate these languages that have helped to sustain our people through generations. So this is Ocho Candelicas. It's a really fun tune. Please join with us. Hanukkah linda está aquí. Ocho candelas para mí. Hanukkah linda está aquí. Ocho candelas para mí. Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, siete candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Muchas fiestas voy a hacer con alegrías y placer. Muchas fiestas voy a hacer con alegrías y placer. Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas. we now continue welcoming in Shabbat with a Shabbat regular, Lecha Dodi, on page 20. Please join us.
Shabbat nekabela shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad hishmianu el hameyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'litila lecha dodi likrat kalai alalai Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kalai alalai b'nei Shabbat nekabela likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki hi mikor haberacha merosh mikadem Sucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat techila lecha dodi likrat kalai alalai b'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kalai alalai b'nei Shabbat nekabela Shalom, Ateret Bala, Gam Besimcha, Uvetzola, Toch Emuneh, Am Segula,
Throughout our service tonight, you'll be hearing some of that Hanukkah music infused with Shabbat music, and of course, some Hanukkah, pre-Hanukkah reflections to get us all in the right mindset and the right mood. Our service continues with our standard Shabbat evening service, page 146, or you can see up on the screens above. Either way, for the Baruch Hu, I invite you to please rise.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Page 147, giving thanks for creation. We read together in the Hebrew. The transliteration can be found alongside. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach she'arim, uvidvuna meshana itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or.
Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzivot shebo elcha וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב הרביב.
We pray responsively in the English. In each age, we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment, we are addressed by the world.
In each age, we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment, we stand face to face with truth.
In each age, we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder.
In each age, the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth.
Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Baruch Shem kevod malchuto leolam va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emet.
So there's a story told about a father asking his daughter what she learned in religious school one week. She answers excitedly, "The rabbi told us of how the Jews escaped from Egypt and from the evil Pharaoh. It was amazing. There was this giant airplane that flew down, and the thousands of Jews raced on board, and it pulled away just as Pharaoh's armies were chasing it. And then the Egyptians got on their airplanes, but the Jewish airplane shot down the Egyptian airplanes, and then they drowned in the ocean." And the dad said, "Did the rabbi really say all that?" And she said, "Not exactly, but you would never believe the story she did tell us." It's hard to believe the stories of the miracles that seem so pervasive in Jewish tradition. Many of us don't take them literally. And yet Hanukkah seems to be all about celebrating the miracle. In fact, as Cantor Fishbein said, the major commandment of Hanukkah, the major mitzvah, is something called publicizing the mitzvah, which means that we place our menorah in the window so that others can see it. It's the same reason why, beginning Sunday evening, you will see our own Hanukkah menorah lit up on South Orange Avenue as you drive by TBJ. But what is the miracle that we are supposed to be publicizing? The book of Maccabees says that it's the military victory of the Maccabees over the Greek and Syrian army. In the Talmud, it says that on the 25th day of Kislev, we are to begin celebrating the days of Hanukkah. For when the Greeks entered the temple, they defiled all of the vials of oil. And it was only when the Hasmonean dynasty prevailed against them and defeated them, they searched and they found that one bit of oil with the seal of the high priest. And yet a miracle occurred there, and they were able to have 8 nights of light from the one. But we might wonder, if there was enough oil to light the menorah for 1 night, then there's no miracle on the first night. So Hanukkah should actually be a 7-day holiday. We'll just have the regular candles on the first day, and then the miracle begins on the second day. Clearly, there must be another miracle here, which includes that first day. Perhaps the miracle wasn't that the oil lasted an additional 7 nights, but rather that those ancestors lit the first wick at all, without being certain that the light would last as long as it would need to complete the rededication of the temple. The miracle was that they took the chance, a risk and a spiritual leap of faith. They took the first step, even though they were not sure that they had enough resources to succeed. And so it is also true with our ancestors who, like that little girl's story said, stood before the Sea of Reeds, wondering what would become of them as they escaped Egyptian slavery, taking a step into waters uncharted and unknown, with a belief that God would make miracles for them in that moment and in so many moments to come. Our prayer that we sing each week for miracles in that time and in all the times to come, Mi Chamocha, page 152.
We're actually going to begin with these words of Maod Sor, which tie into the theme of Mi Chamocha, and then we'll go into Mi Chamocha. So try these words too, and then same tune, we'll sing Mi Chamocha together.
Now that's a miracle. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Give us a place to rest, O God. Bring us shelter in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours.
Baruch atah Adonai, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
We now turn to page 155 for the words of the Amidah. Please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekoneh Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'imachot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham be'ezrat Sarah. Ata gibor leolam Adonai, mechaye hakol. Ata rav lehoshia, mechalkel chayim bechesed. Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofech cholim. Umatir asurim umekayem emunato lishene afar michamocha ba'al gevurot umidom melach melech memit umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
You may be seated. Our thoughts now turn to those who are in need of healing of body, mind, or spirit. Tonight we're keeping in mind Sydney Baker, Bob Broder, Ida Barbara Corvelli, Janice Cummins, Bill Foster, Marcy Goldsmith, Julie Levine, Naomi Batsara, Alfred Marcus, and Judy Zucker. And as I come around the room, if you would like to add a name. We wish them a full and complete healing, a refuah shlema. We can now continue with the words of the Mishaberach.
Mishaberach avotenu mekor habracha leim
shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We now turn to pray for peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon, lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
There's a famous argument in the Talmud between the great sages Hillel and Shammai about how one should light the Hanukkah candles. Shammai says we should start with 8 candles in the Chanukiah, the special menorah we use on Hanukkah, on the first night, and then each subsequent night remove one. Hillel says the opposite, of course, because what would we be if not able to disagree with each other? Start with 1 candle in the Chanukiah on the first night and add one every day, increasing the light over the holiday. Hillel won this fight, of course, and we still follow that custom today. But I wonder what it would be like if we were not afraid of the darkness. What if we were okay with taking light away, as Shammai suggested, to not be scared of the dark and to actually embrace it? As children, we're fearful of the dark, the unknown, and it's very, very hard to outgrow that fear. But the dark, it can be magic. Darkness can be transformative. Darkness encourages our imaginations to work where we dream. Darkness gives us the opportunity to hear the voices within. The poet Rumi writes, "That shadow has been serving you. What hurts you blesses you. Darkness is your candle." Can the dark and not the light actually be what helps us and guides us forward? At this, the darkest time of the year in the Northern Hemisphere, when the sun sets so early and the lack of light can feel so challenging and sometimes depressing, may we find a way to trust the dark, to turn towards the darkness and shadows, feeling it igniting the candles within. May we trust that the hidden sources of lights in each of us that we cannot always see show us the way through the darkness. We now pray silently.
us build our way back to you. Through the rubble we find miracles awaiting. Through the struggle we find strength to build the world we've never known. Through the work of your hands in the days of old, and in this time you bring us light. On hanisim ve'al hapurkan, ve'al hagvurot ve'al hatshuvot ve'al milchamot, she'asit al avotenu ve'imotenu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh. Through the rubble we find miracles waiting. Through the struggle we find strength to build the world we've never known. Through the work of your hands in the days of old, and in this time you bring us light. Bayamim hahem bazman hazeh. In this time you bring us light.
Turning ahead in our prayer books, page 282, we rise as the ark is opened for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Of all the prayers that we utter for Hanukkah, most of us know about the three we say on the first night, and of course the two that we continue to repeat each night. But the rabbis of old tell us that you're supposed to add each night, you're supposed to point to the candles and say, these candles are holy, they shall be used for nothing else except for this. And the rabbis compare that to Shabbat candles. According to Jewish law, once you light Shabbat candles, and let's say your lights go off and you don't believe in turning lights on and off, that if you're interested in you're in a really big murder mystery, you can use the Shabbat lights to be able to read the rest of the book. Hanukkah candles, you can't. Hanukkah candles, according to Jewish law, are to burn for the sake of burning, or to bring light for the sake of light. So we use candles for all kinds of purposes in our faith. We light, at this point of our service, we think about Yortzeit lights that we light, candles that we kindle from memory. And the idea being, just like the Hanukkah light, that we light those lights not for anything utilitarian, but for something ethereal, for something deep, for something to somehow evoke memory, the roles that people played in our lives, the recipes they gave us, the values they taught us, the way they made us feel, what their looks of pride could do just to lift us up, what their looks of disappointment could do to bring us down. Lights, for nothing utilitarian, just to remember. And I would argue not just to remember the darkness, which is what we feel when we lose them, but we feel darkness because of what they did to light up our lives. You wouldn't feel so badly if they hadn't brought you light in the first place. So we can't help but to remember the pain of the loss. But perhaps the rabbis of old are also telling us to make sure that we don't only give credit to the darkness, even if the darkness is there to bring us help and healing. In other words, God forbid should the only thing we remember about someone's life be their death. God forbid should the only thing we remember about someone's death be the way they left, but instead about the way they lived. So we point to these candles outside and we say they're holy. They're not to be used for anything else. The memories that we remember this evening are also holy. They're to bring us light, not for any other reason, but to connect to their memory and their love and their depth of connection. And as we do each Shabbat, but this one going into our season of lights, we take a few moments to think about those people that we've lost. Those in our community, those who were in our families, those martyrs of every race and every nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As is our tradition here, if you hear the name of one that you may have lost, please feel free to stand to honor their memories. We meditate on the meaning of love and of loss, of life and of death. We are first so saddened to announce the death of Jerome Schultz, husband of Linda, whose funeral will be this coming Sunday. During this period of Shiva, we remember Rosemary Casey Starkman, wife of the late Charles, mother of Elizabeth, grandmother of Alex and Daniel. During this period of Shloshim, the traditional Jewish 30-day period of mourning, we remember William K. Lavin, Carol Lipton, Diane Apter, and Bernice Shobe. And on this their Yortzeit, their yearly anniversary of death, we remember Sarah Back, David Benjamin, Peg Reitman Carter, Betty Cohen, Frances Evelyn Cohen, Ida S. Cowan, Bruce Fendel, Benjamin Fuhr, Helene R. Fink, Gladys Fisher, Marcus A. Fox, Flora Freed, Ruth Froelich, Eleanor S. Glickman, Benjamin J. Goldberg, Israel B. Green, Dr. Leonard S. Greenfield, Ruth S. Harris, Robert E. Heller, Sylvia Hellring, Leonard Hockman, David Horowitz, Sidney Isserman, Herman L. Carpelis, Ada Samuels Katzen, Benny K., Jean King, Riley Kogan, Shirley Teitelbaum Kruger, Mayor S. Lederer, Joseph Leiter, Samuel M. Levine, Doris Lichtman, Milton M. Manchell, Max Marks, Bertha Michael, Samuel Miller, Robert J. Nallett, Sarah Walter Newman, Helen Efros Pastor, Eva Mansky, Rich, Dora Rickelson, Laura Rosenstock, Bessie Weber Ross, William Schoenbrunn, Alvin C. Schottenfeld, Leo Schwartz, Gussie Seltzer, Howard Richard Skla, Norma Sperling, Janet Camp Spielman, Herbert Z. Steiner, Joseph Strauss, Beatrice Meyer Trine, Joel Wasserstein, Bertha Wexler, Grace S. Weil. Zecher Tzadik Livracha. May the memory of the righteous be a blessing to each and every one of us praying here in the Shabbat Eve. And let's honor their memories by inviting their souls in to dwell among us as we rise as one community to say the words of Kaddish. They're found on your screen behind me and also on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Biolma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute, B'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agalau v'zman kari v'yamru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mivorach le'olam ulolmei al maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal Shemei dekudesha barichu le'ela minko birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran biolma v'yimru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn here and comfort to those who are bereaved everywhere. As together as one community, we say Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. Greetings to you from all over the synagogue. If you hear noise, it's because there are a lot of people in the building. It is really healthy spiritual noise. We had 250 to 300 participants in our Tat Shabbat, another 150 in our family program. And yes, we're in here also praying on this Shabbat. So lots of Hanukkah Freilach, as my great-grandparents would describe it, which is the way it's supposed to be. It's interesting that Hanukkah falls out smack in the middle of the shortest day of the year. I think it's meant to be, that we bring light into a time when it feels so dark. I am one of those people who suffers from seasonal affective disorder, and I try not to have too many other disorders, but that is one that I have, so the light is really welcome. And as we just heard from our intern, so I guess is darkness. Beautifully said. I missed the other explanations and interpretations of Hanukkah, but I trust that they were also incredibly beautiful, knowing the talent behind me. We do ask you to do a couple of things. One is take your orders of worship with you. You can see upcoming programs, although it's a little bit quieter given it's the end of December. Folks at home, please feel free to click on your link to see. I do want to tell you a couple things. One is after services tonight, you can join all this activity as much as you want to. There's going to be really unhealthy things for you to eat after, all the things that have oil in it, but don't think about the cholesterol. Think about the 8 days, the miracle that took place all those years ago. But if you want to also, we are going to, I think the third time in the last 17 years, build the world's largest Lego menorah. So we've been doing this for a while. We've brought it back. They've already started. If you want to take a look at that, then you can participate of all ages. The only thing he asks is that if you do get oil on your hands, not to bring it to the Legos. He gets really paranoid about it. And we assured him that we would follow those rules, so there are places to wash your hands also. The last thing I want to share, again, you'll look at classes coming, lots of important things, is that this is a season where lots of people are wanting. I know that knowing all of us and the generosity around here, your Hanukkah tables will be filled not just with latkes, but with presents. But there are lots of people of all faiths who are not going to experience that this year. And it feels like our obligation to perhaps even give up one of the night of the 8 and to make sure that you give when others are really looking to find light in even darker days than I described before. So there are a couple of different opportunities. The Giving Tree, which was a bat mitzvah project from about 16 years ago. I just ran into this kid who's now 30, and I said, we're still doing it. So she started something. There's also gifts for kids who are at Cooperman Barnabas. Lots of people need, so be generous and give whatever else is that we need out there. So speaking about generous and loving and coming of age, Isla, where are you? There you are. You came running in with the biggest smile on your face, which is exactly how you should be. Your parents look equally happy. Generally, parents are more nervous than the kids on Friday night, but you all look actually pretty balanced and calm there. So Isla, come on up. You're going to lead us in Kiddush and Motzi. And on your path there, this is a gift to you from the Brotherhood of Women's Association. Obviously, a Kiddush cup with really delicious sweet juice. I think it's delicious. And but it should, more importantly, represent the sweetness of your growth and of your coming of age. And we pray that you and your family will be able to share many more meaningful occasions as the years progress. So you take us away.
Do I hold this?
Yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzav vanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hin lanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila lemikra e kodesh zeyer litziat mitzrayim Kivanu baharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinhaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh ha-Shabbat.
Amen. Take a sip. Talk about pronunciation. That was beautiful. Loved it. You have
It
more?
is good. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem mi'aretz.
Amen. It's okay. You're allowed to swallow, kid. The felling from this section is palpable, and you should feel. Enjoy every single moment tomorrow. You talk about bringing light into the world, kid. You do it beautifully. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Bring a little collar.
I'll just put this under your arm. Here you go. Yeah, there you go. Okay. We bring our service to a close with words that are taken straight out of the Haftarah that would be chanted tomorrow or on the first Shabbat of Hanukkah. This is a quote from the book of Zechariah, "Not by might and not by power, but by spirit alone shall we all live in peace." So we know that the Hanukkah story has some battle in it. The Maccabees had to rally the troops to stand up to those who would have struck us down. But we try not to focus on the violence. We try not to focus on the negativity. We focus on the spirit inside of us, and that idea that when we embrace the darkness, when we embrace that which would challenge us, that actually our spirits can propel us towards peace. So we're going to conclude with this really fun melody. If you know it, please sing with us. I believe that you can find the words, yes, you can, on page 365, right there in the middle of the page. Take it away, band.
Not by might and not
Shabbat Shalom. Happy Hanukkah.
Shabbat shalom.